Hey guys, it's the Gundam Boy, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Dusty Devil's Warbond. So, let's get straight into it. Starting off with the armor, we're going to take a look at the Desert Stormer passive. 40% resistance to fire, gas, acid, and electrical damage, while increasing your throw range by 20%. Considering the amount of acid I've been hit with lately, this is a nice armor set to have. It comes in a medium option, heavy option, and a light option that you can get in the Superstore. But let's take a look at the weapons. So taking a look at the AR2 Coyote, it has 75 damage, capacity of 45, recoil of 17, a fire rate of 600, it's incendiary, and it has medium armor pen. The gun has only full auto and a semi-auto mode, and the recoil of the gun isn't too bad, making it really easy for you to fire this weapon at full speed. But let's take a look at how it fares against some of the enemies. A great assault rifle on the bot front, but you should keep in mind that the automatons are harder to light on fire in general, meaning you're gonna have to fire way more bullets to actually light them on fire. But it has medium pen rounds, which means you can still light devastators on fire from the chest. Moving on over specifically to the Predator strain, I tested out this assault rifle and it just burns through enemies. So going up against the greater chaff bugs like bile spears, it means you can still do precision damage on them while lighting them on fire with heavy tick damage. A great counter weapon against the medium armored enemies and those constellations where bile spears and hive guards are everywhere, which is perfect because I fucking hate bile spears. Against the lesser chaff, you barely have to spend more than one bullet on the hunters. This is perfect timing considering the fact that we have the new gloom bugs that we're fighting over here with the devilish bile spears that dig under, and the hive guards. Oh, I'm sorry, did I say hive guards? I meant warriors. I just called them hive guards because I forgot they have medium pen on their head now, which makes it a great counter against these annoying ass enemies. And holy shit. Moving over to the illuminate front, you can really see the power of this assault rifle shine, only taking a few shots to kill a watcher as the tick damage finished them off. And even against something as dumb and annoying as the voteless aren't immune to it. Even this guy did the splits. You can set this gun to semi-automatic, and you can just kind of click on each voteless around you and just set them ablaze. And it's so fun! One of my favorite weapons to use against the cursed, broken overseers in the game. Because even if you're not going for a headshot on some of the overseers, the fire damage is still enough to take them down, which makes it a perfect counter against elevated overseers, as even if they try to run away and you can't hit a headshot, all you need to do is light them on fire a few times. And I was surprised about its power against things like the flesh mob, as I was able to kill it with at least a mag and a half. And this was me just fully dumping on him. It's totally possible for you to stretch your ammo out so that you can kill him within a mag, as you can use the tick damage to basically finish him off. Perfectly cooked, a meatball. I have to say, this is a solid S assault rifle if you think about it. Fire damage, medium pen, fair damage, it's pretty busted all around. And now moving over to the CQC 47 machete. It is a medium armor pen and it's one-handed with a recoil of 6. The main thing you want to know about this melee weapon, though, how does it compare to like the other melees, is that it's slower than the saber. In fact, it's slower than most melee weapons, but damn does it look good. But looking good doesn't save you from the fact that it feels like it's taking 3 years to swipe with this melee weapon. But is all that slow swing worth it? And no, I'm not slowing it down. This is actual in-game speed. But on top of its slow swing, it looks like it's capable of transferring that speed to your enemies, staggering them for 3 years. I mean, it's a melee weapon. This isn't unusual. I think even the berserkers are a little confused here. They don't know what to do. If you're hoping that it would stun things like overseers, it won't do that. Since it does have medium pen, it does mean you can swing on enemies that have harder armor points without really being phased. I would try to use it against things like the devastators, but still, I mean, I'd rather just shoot this guy at this point. Come on, look at this. This takes a bit. Especially against enemies like Voteless, where you see people use melee the most, it's just kind of a sluggish melee weapon, and I'd rather not use it. I think you could save your super credits on this one. Just wait for a bit. Maybe they'll buff it. Melee is a fun idea in Helldivers, but you also have to remember that there's cannons on this game. So, taking a look at the G7 Pineapple, the new cluster bomb grenade, let's just say it's a bit cooler. It's light armor pen, but it does have a giant blast range, making this ideal for going up against lesser chaff. I will have to say though, I think it's kind of confusing because here it says its penetration is 3 and its armor penetration is light. You can't be both, pick one! There's not too much to actually say on top of this grenade other than the fact that it's a airburst grenade, but it's not just a pretty firework. You can actually use this to disrupt the digging bugs from jumping your ass. So let's look at the support weapon I was excited for, the spear gun. Come on, it's like they hate the sterilizer at this point. There's so many other better ways to apply gas, and this guy's just rotting. And it has a pretty fair range, as it starts to drop off around 176 meters. It does have a limit of how far it can fly, though. I find that the spear gun's going to be a pretty good way to control area, as you can block off certain paths where enemies are coming through. And since it has 650 damage and a penetration of 5, it can go right through the head of things like overseers. Imagine you're on patrol and boom, spear gun. It's a ye old sniper rifle. You should also keep in mind the harpoon gun, since it fires gas, is fully capable of stopping those rupture warriors from crawling over and beating your ass. Makes it a perfect weapon for setting up counterattacks on these enemies, as you can stop both their charge and make them blind. And since that harpoon is an AP 5, it means you can take things out like Hulks to the eye. Even after you apply it directly to its forehead, that gas will still sit there and block off that direction from any enemies flowing through. Punches so hard that it can even silence a Bile Titan from spewing on you. But while it can block out Bile Titans from barfing on you, you should still keep in mind that its 650 damage doesn't make it anywhere an anti-tanker. But if you've ever gone whaling, then you'd know that it takes a lot more than one harpoon to take down a whale. If you've ever stabbed a cow with a butter knife, then you'll know what it's like to kill this factory strider using the spear gun. Too many shots to take down its top turret, and it should take only one shot to take down its chin guns. However, it should be a better counter against things like harvesters, as you can nick them in that eye. Overall, the spear gun is a pretty damn good disruption combat weapon right here. Another weapon to the arsenal is the expendable napalm. You get 2 shots, and 2 shots of absolute fire. I don't know why I fired it at the sky. I think I thought it was going to be like the air burst and fall back down. It never came back. Directly fired the napalm at the enemies. I find that if you bank it off the walls, you can get much more spread on your fire. Because if you fire it directly at the ground, at the flat surface, it just kind of condenses all that fire. But I have to say, this is much cooler. And even though it doesn't have any anti-tank on it, the fire is just enough to kill things like chargers. While bullying the chargers in close range is fun, what about the long-range way of bullying enemies? So the missile silo has a cooldown of at least 3 minutes. This right here is the controller that you'd use to guide the missile. However, you have to be very careful because it's wherever you point, the missile will go. So you're gonna want to make sure you get the most out of this missile. You can use it within close range, hiding it behind buildings to fire it down on enemy bases. You can even scout out bases and find a target you want to annihilate at range. And it has some crazy power behind it, being able to take down factory striders in one hit. However, it's missing something called demolition power, because it doesn't do anything to stratagem jammers. Wah, wah, wah. But that's the entire Warbond. What do you guys personally think about it, and will you be getting it yourself? Otherwise, I'll see you guys later.